The Wanderers came out in 1979, made almost no noise, and disappeared. No wide release, no cultural moment. Then the people who found it wouldn't stop talking about it. Decades later, new viewers stumble onto it and still can't shake it. So why does a movie this forgotten feel this unforgettable? Let's get into it. The first thing I noticed about The Wanderers was the year it's set in. 1963, the Bronx, before Vietnam swallowed a generation whole, before the neighborhood started burning. Director Philip Kaufman didn't place his story in the middle of the chaos. He set it right at the edge of it. So every scene carries this weight underneath it, the feeling that something is about to end, and nobody can see it coming. Think of it as the New York version of American Graffiti. Same idea, the last exhale before everything gets hard. And running underneath all of it is one of the greatest soundtracks ever put in a film. Walk Like a Man, Stand By Me, Run Around Sue, Soldier Boy. Songs that don't just fit the era, they carry the emotion of every scene they're in. Richie is the face of the film. Ken Wahl plays him with this quiet pull that's hard to explain. He's the leader, but that's not what makes him interesting. He's the only one who can feel the life he's living getting too small. Every scene with him is about something pulling him forward and something pulling him back. Part of what keeps him anchored is Despy, his girlfriend, and the daughter of Chubby, a local mobster who actually looks out for the Wanderers when they need it. She's the Bronx in human form. Then Nina enters the picture, a girl from a completely different world. And suddenly, Richie is standing between two versions of his life without the courage to fully choose either one. Joey is different, hyperactive, loud, always moving. But underneath all that energy is a kid running from something real. He lives with an abusive father. That detail changes how you read every scene he's in. His loyalty to the Wanderers isn't just friendship. It's the only stable thing he has. The crew is his real home. But Joey has something the others don't: artistic aspirations. Something inside him that was never going to fit inside the Bronx forever. And the film holds on to that detail quietly until the very end. Then there's Perry, the gentle giant, new in the neighborhood. No history, no crew. He steps in during a street brawl to help the Wanderers, and that one decision pulls him in. But home isn't something Perry is fighting to protect either. His mother is a drunk, sleeping around with other men. There's nothing worth going home to. He chose the Wanderers the same way Joey did, because it was better than what he already had. And Turkey, he's the funny one, the weasel of the group, the guy every crew has. Then he makes the one move that costs him everything. He leaves the Wanderers to join the Baldies, thinking he's upgrading, thinking he's found something better. The Baldies don't see it that way. When they ship off to join the Marines, they leave him behind without a second thought. He was never really one of them. Then the Ducky Boys come, and in the chaos of that night, Turkey falls and dies, abandoned by the crew he chose over his own people. Then swallowed up by the same violence nobody could outrun. That's the cruelest ending in the film, sudden and pointless, the way things actually end. Then the news breaks. Kennedy is dead. And from that moment, The Wanderers stops feeling like a coming-of-age story and starts feeling like a eulogy. The energy doesn't disappear all at once. It just drains out slowly, scene by scene. The humor gets quieter. The violence gets darker. The world these kids grew up inside starts coming apart before any of them can name what's happening. There is one sequence in this film that nobody who has seen it ever forgets: the Ducky Boys. What makes them different from every other gang in the film is this: every crew in the Bronx, the Wanderers, the Del Bombers, the Baldies, the Wongs, all of them operate by a shared code. No guns, no knives, boundaries that everyone respects. The Ducky Boys ignore all of it. They don't distinguish between race, ethnicity, loyalty, or history. They just come, and that's why something extraordinary happens on that football field. Blacks, Italians, Chinese, everybody unites against them. Not because they suddenly like each other, because the Ducky Boys are something none of their rules can account for. Here's how I read them. The Ducky Boys are America's foreign enemies, a faceless threat used to whip up fear and force people into line. The kind of boogeyman that makes men forget their differences, just long enough to fight someone else's war. Kaufman had directed Invasion of the Body Snatchers the year before, and he brought the same dread into this. That sense of something inhuman moving through a world that has no framework to stop it. The Ducky Boys don't feel like a rival gang. They feel like everything that's coming next. After the chaos settles, the film gives you its quietest scene. Richie standing outside Gerdes Folk City in Greenwich Village, peering through a window. Inside, Nina is watching Bob Dylan perform The Times They Are A-Changin'. And Richie can see it. A whole different world on the other side of that glass. One he can feel the pull of, but can't step into. Joey and Perry get in a car and leave. Two kids with nothing worth staying for. Broken homes, no future the neighborhood was going to hand them. They don't make a speech about it. They just go. And that quiet exit is the only moment in the film where anyone actually chooses their own life. Then Richie goes back to the Wanderers, back to the Bronx. Not because someone made him, because he genuinely doesn't know what he wants. He saw the other world through that window, felt the pull of it, and still turned around. That's what makes his ending hit harder than anyone else's in the film. Joey and Perry knew exactly what they were running from. Richie had a door right in front of him and walked away from it confused. That's how The Wanderers ends. Not with a fight, not with a victory. Just a man making a choice he doesn't fully understand yet. After a while, The Wanderers stops feeling like a movie. For people who lived it, it felt like documentation. For everyone else, it felt true anyway. Because it wasn't really about gangs or the Bronx or 1963. It was about the last moment before everything changes. About belonging somewhere while already sensing you're about to be left behind. People connected to it for different reasons. Some recognized parts of their own lives in it. Others felt the weight of a world ending before anyone said it out loud. That kind of connection doesn't fade when the credits roll. That's why The Wanderers never really left. It felt like something you carried out of the theater with you. Something you still carry now. Something that gets heavier the older you get.